Welcome everyone! Today we have a delightful journey into the world of Indonesian humor with our best collection of Indonesian jokes of all time. Indonesia, a land rich in culture, traditions, and of course, humor. The people of Indonesia have a unique way of weaving humor into their daily lives, making each day a bit brighter and each conversation a bit lighter. Humor is not just a form of entertainment here, it's a way of life, a tool used to build connections, foster relationships, and navigate through the complexities of social interactions. It is deeply rooted in their storytelling tradition, where a great story is often laced with wit, sarcasm, and a dash of playful banter. Indonesian humor is like a spicy rendang. It has layers of complexity, but once you get a taste of it, you can't help but want more. So are you ready to dive into the laughter-filled world of Indonesian jokes? Here we go! We start our journey with light-hearted, everyday Indonesian jokes that bring a smile to anyone's face. These are the jokes that are often shared around dinner tables, at gatherings, or in casual conversation. They are simple, but they never fail to elicit a chuckle or two. Our first joke goes like this: why don't ants ever get sick? Well, it's because they have antibodies. A classic, isn't it? Next up, we have a joke that's a favorite among children. Why was the math book sad? Because it had too many problems. Now, who can't relate to that? Thirdly, we have a joke that's a bit of a tongue twister. If two's company and three's a crowd, what are 4 and 5? The answer is 9. I bet you didn't see that one coming. Moving on, here's a joke that's perfect for the food lovers among us. What do you call cheese that isn't yours? Nacho cheese. It's a pun that's sure to get a giggle out of you. Our fifth joke is a cute one that goes like this: why couldn't the bicycle stand up by itself? It was too tired. A joke that's as light-hearted as it is punny. And finally, our last joke for this segment is a classic play on words. What's orange and sounds like a parrot? A carrot. Now that's a punchline that's both clever and amusing. Those were some delightful everyday jokes. They may be simple and lighthearted, but they are the kind of jokes that can bring a smile to anyone's face, regardless of their age or mood. It's the beauty of humor. It has the power to lighten up our day and bring us together through shared laughter. Now let's move on to something a bit more traditional. Next up, we have traditional jokes, often shared at gatherings and family events. Indonesia, with its rich culture and traditions, has a treasure trove of jokes that have been passed down through generations. These jokes not only tickle your funny bone, but also give you a glimpse into the unique Indonesian culture. Let's dive into our first traditional joke. It goes like this: why did the durian cross the road? Because it heard someone say, "I can't stand the smell of durians." This joke plays on the infamous reputation of durian, a fruit that's loved and loathed in equal measure in Indonesia for its pungent smell. Moving on to our second joke. Have you ever heard about the Indonesian ghost who was always late? Well, he was known as the ghost pone, a play on the word tunggu, which means wait in Indonesian. It's a light-hearted nod to the Indonesian folklore that is full of ghost stories. Our third joke for today is, why doesn't the wayang puppet ever lose at chess? Because it always has the knight on its side. This joke refers to the traditional Indonesian shadow puppet theater, wayang, where the knight is a common character. The fourth joke is a classic Indonesian riddle. What's the room you can't enter? It's a mushroom. This joke, while simple, is a favorite at Indonesian family gatherings. And now for our final traditional joke. Why did the tempe go to school? Because it wanted to be mentally smart. This joke highlights tempe, a traditional Indonesian soy product, and plays on the word ferment. Those traditional jokes give us a glimpse of the rich Indonesian culture, don't they? Now let's get into some wordplay. Some scene script. Indonesian language has some fun wordplay opportunities, and these jokes make the most of them. Let's dive into the first one. What do you call a cat who swallowed a duck? A duck-tongue cat. In Indonesian, duck is bebek, and tongue is lidah, so bebek lidah kucing is a play on words that translates to duck-tongue cat. It's a silly joke, but it's a classic example of Indonesian wordplay. Next up, we have this gem. Why is a bald man like an island? Because he has no hair, or in Indonesian, no rambut. And rambutan, a tropical fruit native to Indonesia, sounds like rambutan, which means like hair. So a bald man is like an island because he has no rambutan. Here's another one for you. Why can't a bicycle stand on its own? Because it's too tired, or in Indonesian, too tired. The word tired translates to letih, which sounds like letih, the Indonesian word for two. So a bicycle can't stand because it's letih-letih, or too tired. Moving on, consider this. Why do cows have hooves instead of feet? Because they lactose, or in Indonesian, lactose. Lactose sounds like lactose, a sugar found in milk. And of course, cows are known for their milk. So the joke is that they have hooves because they lactose. Our last one is a classic. What do you call a fish with no eyes? A fish, or in Indonesian, ikan buta, which means blind fish. The joke is that without the eyes, a fish becomes a fish. Those wordplay jokes surely tickle the brain, don't they? Now let's check out some humor from the younger generation. Finally, we have some modern Indonesian jokes reflecting the humor of the younger generation. In the era of the internet, memes, and pop culture, Indonesian humor has evolved and adapted, bringing forth a fresh wave of laughter and wit. These jokes embody the spirit of the younger generation, who are as quick with their wit as they are with their thumbs on their smartphones. Let's start off with a classic modern joke. Why don't Indonesians ever play hide and seek? Because good luck hiding when you're always on social media. We all know that friend who shares every moment, every meal, and every thought online. Here's another one for you. Why did the Indonesian millennial refuse to drink tap water? Because it wasn't Instagrammable. In today's day and age, if it's not worthy of a social media post, it doesn't exist, right? Now this one is for all the tech-savvy folks out there. Why did the smartphone go to Indonesia? To finally meet all its followers. With Indonesia being one of the biggest markets for smartphones, this one hits close to home. Next up, a joke that's a nod to the pop culture. Why couldn't the superhero fly over Indonesia? Because he couldn't resist the nasi goreng. Food is, after all, the real superhero in our lives. Lastly, a joke that perfectly sums up the internet era. Why did the meme go to Indonesia? Because it wanted to go viral. The internet has indeed made the world a smaller place, and Indonesia sure knows how to keep up with the trends. And that's a wrap on our collection of Indonesian jokes. We hope you enjoyed this laughter-filled journey. There's nothing quite like humor to bring people together. And it's clear that Indonesian humor, whether traditional or modern, has a charm of its own. So, which joke made you laugh the hardest? We had a blast sharing these jokes with you. From the lighthearted everyday jokes that bring a smile to your face, to the traditional Indonesian jokes that give us a glimpse into the rich cultural heritage of this beautiful archipelago. We dived into the clever wordplay that really makes you think, and then rounded it all off with some modern Indonesian jokes that resonate with today's generation. We hope these jokes have brought you joy, sparked memories, or simply brightened your day. After all, laughter is a universal language that brings us all closer together, regardless of where we come from. And who knows, you might even be inspired to try out some of these jokes on your friends and family. Now it's your turn. Which joke was the best? Share your favorite in the comments below and keep the laughter going.